Hello. 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 How's everybody doing? Hmm. 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 What do you think? Hmm. What do you think? Oh, what do you think? I don't know. You tell me. That was a fun ride. That was an absolutely, and I'm going all the way back to the President's Trophy season because yeah, we didn't make it to the Cup that year, but we spent most of the season thinking we were making it to the Cup. And man, that was a blur. Anybody feel like that was 4 years? I mean, shit. Just when. Oh, well, when? Where was I? What was I doing? I wasn't even streaming every game. The President's Trophy season. It was just pre. It was just pre games, an hour pre game. That's how we started off. After I don't know. I guess that was the sixth year. So we did 5 years of just recaps, and then we started streaming. And yeah, since then I've shaved my head. This is turned, I don't know, 70% white. It changes on a daily basis. That's a true thing. Anybody who's ever had a gray beard, I'm curious if you've had the same experience. Like sometimes it grows in mostly black, and then sometimes it grows in mostly white. It's an anomaly. And let's see, since the President's Trophy season, all my dogs died. That was fun. Yeah. I new dogs, so that's good. We won't talk about Karen. We won't talk about that. Donna's in bed asleep. Poor thing. It's got to work every freaking night because my dumb ass can't make enough money to pay everybody's bills. That's another story. So that was 4 years, and that was a hell of a run. And forgive me, and I'm going to get to the chat here in a second. I'm not sure if it's Colin or Craig, but one of you, I apologize. I get the C's mixed up. But one of you has been saying, don't guarantee that. There's no guarantee we're making the playoffs next year. And for a while, like, what are you talking about? We're just injured. It's fine. I don't know. And the reason why I don't know is I'm going to kind of draw a parallel to my own personal experience here. Like when the dogs passed, when Ellie and Fluffy died within the 4 months of each other, and then Karen left, like I completely went on the mat. I was like the Panther. I was just like completely crispy burnt, crispy done toast. And I know I haven't got back off the mat. Oh, I get flashes every once in a while of maybe thinking I'm feeling about the same way, but no, I have not gotten up off the mat. I'm too tired, too stressed, too exhausted. And so when I think about the Panthers and I think about, they went through four years of, a lot. And no, there's no guarantee that they get up off the mat. There isn't. The names are still there, but what's inside those jerseys? What's inside of those guys? Is Bennett going to have that fire again? Is Chucky going to have that fire again? Is Reinhart ever not going to look exhausted again? Lundell looks pretty smooth out. We're looking good there. Luosterainen, Vilmanis. It's good stuff there. Marchand. Dude's going to be 38, right? Ish, I think. I'm putting together a roster for next season. And I know it sounds crazy, but maybe Marchand needs to be the Greer replacement. Maybe Marchand needs to be the guy that's on the fourth line getting 10 minutes a night. But then when we need somebody in the top 9 because somebody's injured, he can come in, fill in. But then when said injured player comes back, you put Marchand back to the fourth line and you don't wear the dude out. I know $6 million on the fourth line is a lot, but we can afford it because we're paying dirt cheap prices everywhere else. Forsling, I mean, he's absolutely gassed. I have confidence that Forsling can regain his form with rest. Ekblad, unfortunately, the next suspension wouldn't be a 25-game vacation. That suspension, the more I've thought about it and the more I've watched Ekblad's play deteriorate over the course of this season, the more I realized that suspension was a gift. He was rested. He was ready. He was healthy. He looked good in the playoffs. He had just had, a month and a half off, however long the 25-game was, whatever it was. But there's no guarantee that last night was not – last night was the final nail in the coffin for the season. It's done. You can play games with the numbers if we win 6-7 straight. I don't want to, come on. You have to be real. These guys can't finish a game. This is the third, and even against Toronto, I was going to say it's the third game in a row they looked bad in the third period. They didn't look good in the third period against Toronto either. They can't finish a game. Coming back from the Olympic break with as much rest as they possibly were going to get, except for the guys that went, they can't finish a game. So it's over. But how over is it? How over is it? And who's going to be the first domino to fall? Are we just going to run it back, say, hey, everybody was injured, everybody's exhausted, we're going to run it completely back next year, except for whoever we're going to put next to Bennett and Tkachuk? Are we going to spend money on a free agent there? Are we going to give Samoskevich another chance? Are we going to put Vilmanis there? That's my vote. That's my vote, is to put Vilmanis there. And Maurice might agree with me. Last night he put Vilmanis with Lundell and Reinhart and put Samoskevich on the fourth line. Samoskevich could easily find himself back at the AHL. He's waivers exempt. Don't cost us nothing. Another guy that needs a contract. So yeah, I don't know what. None of us ever know what the future holds, but enjoy that run that we had. And I know some of you are going to say it's not a problem. We'll be back. And I want to believe that as well too. Sometimes you can't get up off the mat, no matter how many people think you should or would or could. All right. That's my 2 cents this morning. I know I'm behind in the chat. Hey, Colin. Yeah, LeBron. Yep. Panthers are sellers. Yep. Hey, Nano. Yeah, I'm tired, boss. Yep. Burned oils. How's everybody's doing? Is this pre-recorded? Is it AI? Silva. David says, I think we're letting a game played by millionaires who wouldn't know if we live or die affect our mentality too much. We've had too many injuries to overcome this year. Well, remember, when you're at work, David, so am I. You know what I mean? So I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Craig says the clues were there from Chucky not getting the surgery sooner that this season was not going to be good. Yeah. Kenny says, I agree. Only one side of my face grows gray or dark depending on the day. The other side, not white yet. It's wild, man. So Vilmanis on the first line. Second, Bennett with Vilmanis and Kachuk. That's what I would like to see. Craig says, basically, they're missing two guys from the Cup team, Barkov and Jones, and they're getting smoked this year by the Devils. Exactly. There you go, David. Send Petrie to the moon. No doubt. So the loss of leadership with Barkov is just incredible. No doubt. Weather-in-law says 1959, one team was down 7 points out of the playoffs with 5 games less. Oh, sure, mathematically, right? But they can't finish a game. Bobby says if Rodriguez got traded, I'd be sad because of his tradition with Marshy. That was I was wondering about that during the regular season, because if we had a full healthy roster, we can't afford Rodriguez. And so I was wondering about that, but in the playoffs, we don't have that wonder now. Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. It's just there's so many teams we're behind now too, whether or low. You know what I mean? Right, Jelly. We need to start piecing in some younger guys. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. Braves seems to be running with 95% of the gang. Sure. I mean, eventually somebody's going to get. Eventually it's going to happen, right? Hungry. Yeah, right now Vilmanis is skating with Lundell and Reinhardt. I guess that is the top line, right? Yeah. I guess I see what you're saying there. Hey, Mike. I didn't see anything that you said. I don't know if YouTube got you. We don't have any mods, so it had to be YouTube. I don't know what you said, but YouTube is funky that way, man. I apologize. Scientist says, I knew we were cooked when Lundell scored the tying goal, and there was no celebration, no feeling of accomplishment, no reaction from the bench, nothing. Hey, Lightning Girl, you think you have a coaching problem, eh? Huh? I mean, if the Lightning don't win the conference, who will? Said Marshy and Erod to Boston, let them go on a run. You feel like this team has lost all motivation, so we'd be matching that energy moving forward. Yeah, the Olympic break was not good for us, that's for sure. Jelly says, so which players are you totally okay trading before the trade deadline, assuming the returns are decent? What would I trade look like for Verhaeghe? So I'll answer that question. Yeah, Bob. Yeah, we were watching. It was he was doing an interview, right? He was doing an interview, and I think he's just as frustrated and flummoxed as we are. You know what I mean? Now, in terms of Jelly's question, what players am I okay with trading before the trade deadline? So when I start looking forward to next season, Barkov, Reinhardt, Verhaeghe, Bennett, Kachuk, Vilmanis, Lundell, Luosterainen. I'm not sure. I know they're going to put Marchand on that third line, and that's probably where they're going to leave him. I wouldn't be against plug in that spot next to Luosterainen and Lundell, with a younger player, an established younger player, and then having Marchand, like I said, be on the fourth line and be that guy that when somebody gets hurt, you plug Marchand in. But playing him 20 minutes a night, 18, 20 minutes a night, I don't think is good. I don't think it's good for him or the team. So with that as the roster, you don't have Boquist there. Rodriguez is a tough one because he is your Swiss Army knife. He's important to the team, but is he your answer as a full-time player? Like, are you just going to put Rodriguez with Lundell and Luosterainen? Like, what Zito needs to figure out is how much of this was really the injuries, how much of this is exhaustion, and what level of it is it physical exhaustion, mental exhaustion? And then there's another question that I had for myself this morning. And this is going to sound Cocoa Puffs. So I preface it by saying, I understand that this sounds Cocoa Puffs. But once you get past the shock of it, understand what I'm saying. Are we sure that this team can win again with Paul Maurice? And what I mean by that is the level of physicality required to win with Maurice's system. Are we sure that these guys are going to have the willingness and the fire and the tenacity and the ability to do that again? Because we certainly have enough talented guys, but it takes everybody working as one unit, as we've seen. And if you get a couple of weak links here or there, it gets ugly quick. I'm not suggesting we get rid of Maurice or anything like that, but I do wonder if the level of effort and, tenacity that it takes to win in that system, I do wonder if they're going to ever be able to get back to that level again. Colin says maybe the Cats mentioned the playoffs will rest the hunger. Will rest the hunger for the core of guys. I believe they want to win more than what they've already accomplished. It's just not happening this season. You think the Sabres will, Lightning Girl? I've heard that opinion a few times. Mike says, I've switched over. You're a Lightning fan now. I hear you, David. Oh, God, hungry, right? Weather-in-law still doesn't want us to give up just yet. I mean, they have to be able to win a game. They have to be able to finish a game. That's really the bigger concern. You know what I mean? This is not looking like a team that can win 3 out of 10, let alone 7 or 8 or 9 in a row that it would take for them to get back in it. At this point, it's got nothing to do with the other teams. It's us. No, Silva. He says Lundell, Luosterainen, and Samoskevich. No. I don't know. I'm irritated with that kid. Very irritated. Like the number of opportunities he's had this year. And there shouldn't be any energy concerns with him. He's got fresh young legs. Like, I don't know if I want to go into a whole nother season giving him another chance. We might do it. But I certainly wouldn't want him to stay at the expense of Vilmanis. Vilmanis is far and away the more important piece right now, in my opinion. Whatever happened to Samoskevich, maybe he comes back next year and fixes it, but he's just been in decline the entire season. Like not even really haven't seen much in the way of flashes. Bobby says, Verhaeghe still has some value for some teams. Boquist is still young. He can surely have some chances. I would be shocked if we didn't move Boquist. Now, I know they're talking about the pending free agents, so that puts Greer on that list. Man, I sure as hell hope we don't lose Greer and keep Boquist and put his ass in the fourth line next year. That's not an answer. Right, Bill? Right? I know you're watching, damn it. So, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. I'd rather pay Greer a couple of $1 million or whatever it's going to be and trade Boquist. Like, Greer is an important piece, man. Not only is he probably our best fourth line guy, but, you put him in the top six or at least the middle six, and you can get production when guys are injured. Real says, how many years do I think we're going to keep that Lundell on the third line and reuse and refuse to break him up with E2? I mean, Maurice did make that change last night. I'm not saying it's permanent. I mean, what we're seeing this year is it's such a discombobulated mess. It's really hard to say. When you got Barkov and Bennett healthy and playing, that's the perfect spot for Lundell at 3C. It gives us a massive advantage. Now, some might think at some point you want to put him at 2C and move Bennett to 3C. I mean, you want to have a third line of Bennett, Tkachuk, and Marchand. You want to go Barkov, Reinhart with a replacement for Verhaeghe. Then Lundell with Vilmanis and Luosterainen? No. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's so rough. It's rough. I agree with Silver there a little bit. Says, I want to see Samo next year. Rookies often have a second-year slump. I agree with the second-year slump thing for sure. Yeah, Marchand's definitely injured, Susie. We knew from before the Olympic break that he was missing time due to a recurring injury, whatever it is, and they may as well just shut him down because he's not himself out there. There's no sense in him continuing to injure himself. Let him get healthy. Rumors say this morning the Habs, Oilers, and Knights might be interested in Bobrovsky. Now, the Habs is never going to happen. I won't even live in a world where I'm discussing that. The Oilers and Knights, though. Now, that would, I can't sit here and say, oh my God, that would never happen. I wouldn't like it. I thought he played well enough for us to win last night. He made some good saves last night. And then, where you let a guy stand right in front of him and deflect the puck. And Reinhardt's just standing there next to him, smoking a cigar. Scientist says current free agents or UFAs are Greer, Bobrovsky, Tarasov, Nosek, Petrie, and Schwint. RFAs are Samo, Bornfoot, and Sabrango. So did we not? I guess we didn't sign Bornfoot to another deal. I thought we did, but maybe that was last year. In terms of what I would like to see, I don't know. You can move Petrie. You may as well just waive Petrie, right? What are you going to get for Petrie? Maybe you could get a fifth or a sixth, maybe. Schwint is hurt. I wouldn't want to move him. Nosek just came back. I don't know if teams are going to have seen enough of him from last night to even be interested. Tarasov might be the only goalie we have under contract next year if we can sign him. Greer, like I said, I'd like to see him stay. And then there's Bubba. And, I see a lot of people on Twitter that are unhappy with Bobrovsky's play. I suppose, there's just no way to really compare things. because you could sit there and say, well, if Bobrovsky was playing and giving us Tarasov's numbers, we might be in a playoff spot. But then the team has clearly played different in front of Tarasov. They clearly play a more defensively structured game, which is why he gets no goal support half the time, because we play a much more tighter, focused game on defense, and we just leave Bob hanging out to dry most of the night. As far as what I think is going to happen, it wouldn't shock me to see Greer get moved, because she could probably get a 3 or a 4 for him, or maybe a prospect. Maybe there's a prospect somewhere in somebody's system that we'd be willing to part with Greer on. The rest of them, there's no value for Bornfoot or Sabrango. Samaskevich, I mean, maybe you could get a one back for him. Maybe. Like, other than Bobrovsky, we really don't have anybody. You're talking about pennies on the dollar, what we get back anyway. Mike says somebody could rent the Bobrovsky for a cup run. I would assume that if Bobrovsky was going to waive his no move clause, he would insist that, of course, it's only 16 teams. So there's 16, 15 teams we could trade him to, whether he likes it or not. But I would still think that anybody giving up the assets for Bobrovsky, that he would want to have a contract signed with that team, as opposed to getting renting out and then having to go free agency again. But what do I know? David says, Boquist's not the answer. Samuel doesn't score. Over half the team is hurt and the entire team tired. It's one season. If the guys weren't all in, they wouldn't have signed for less. Sasha is just that important. There's no doubt that Barkov is beyond important for this team. No doubt. Susan says the style of dumping the puck into the zone and winning the puck fights along the boards is clearly not working anymore, because they don't want to do it. They lack the will to go fight for the puck. Lightning Girl, that I'm not sure about. Vincent, when I was talking about Maurice, says, same today. My thoughts exactly. This team will not win again with Paul Maurice, refresh of the roster, or another coach. That's my feeling. Or else it's a decade of mediocrity. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be, you guys know I try to be optimistic, but that was my thought earlier today, was like, are they going to be able to get back to that level? That's a big, it kind of feels like they're going to have to come up with something else. Like, they're going to have to come up with, not saying an entirely different way to be successful, but like Vincent's saying, you're either going to have to retool a little bit and get some fresh blood in there, or you're going to have to change what you're kind of doing. Because as you see it this year, and I know the injuries and we're tired, but other teams have caught on to what we're doing. Okay? And I mean on a game-to-game, period-to-period basis, other teams have caught on. And the days of us, getting out to a 2-1 lead and then beating the crap out of the team and shutting things down in the third period, that's what they're doing to us now. Kenneth, Corey Perry probably would have got the Cats to the Cup. Hey, NHL, I'm today's good. Today's a good day. I actually got into the sauna before the stream, so I'm a little bit loopy from the sauna, but my pain level's pretty good today. Michael, you think Vilmanis can replace Greer? Yeah, I mean, that's viable. That's kind of viable. I would honestly prefer Vilmanis to get a spot in the top 9, but certainly that's viable. Yeah, real. We'll trade Bobrovsky to the Blackhawks, right? Oh, here we go, Lightning Girl. Trade call pending sending Tyler Myers to the Stars. Oh, boy. Yeah, good question there, Bobby. How about Cooper Black? I would be fine giving him a chance. Totally fine giving him a chance. Um, but I would suspect that you would want one, or you would at least want one goalie under contract before you call Cooper Black up. You know what I mean? And then the roster space would be an issue because you'd have to keep him up, right? So that might be an issue there because um, who you can move down and who you can't right now. We got to figure out, first things we got to do is figure out how to get Jones back in. So, but if they make some trades, that would change everything. Hey, Marble man, do I think Zito makes a move that no one's expecting? No, because I think the only one that would have been on that list, but I don't know. I mean, the only thing that I could think could happen, I kind of said this a little bit yesterday, if Zito sees an opportunity with a guy to make a trade for somebody who he feels would be an answer to some of our problems next year. So like Greer, Samaskevich, and a second or whatever, right? Like, if he saw an opportunity to go get somebody that he thought would help us in the future, as opposed to helping us get to the playoffs, I guess that would be a little bit of a surprise. What did I get here? Hold on a second. I'm missing a lot on the chat. I know. Holy crap, I'm missing a lot on the chat. Hey, thank you, Total Recaps. Thank you, bud. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. He says, hey, Jaws, I appreciate all the work you put in. Really wish they could have had a chance to defend their cup, but this team deserves the rest. Yeah. Yeah, no disagreement there, man. I appreciate it. And yeah, look, I mean, three straight. So it just now just becomes a question of, the problems, how can we solve them all, and how many of them were just simply the injuries. Hey, MJ, how you doing, bud? Brother-in-law's talking about how we were down 3-1 against the Bruins. No, I understand, man. I do understand. No, that's not real. Scientists, that's not real. Panthers have agreed to a 1-year, 2-way contract with goaltender Luis Dominguez. That is real. We talked about that last month, that he was in Charlotte, but not in the Panthers system. So that's interesting. That's interesting. I don't like that move, scientist. So, hey JD, how you doing, bud? What's the chances of the playoffs after last night? The same chance of me growing a full head of hair again. Hey Matthew, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, I was actually in the sauna today. It's an infrared sauna. Hey MJ, how's my heart doing? Oh, I haven't had heart palpitations in a couple of days. I still get lightheaded. I'm still getting lightheaded sometimes from just talking, but it's getting a little bit better each day. I just have to keep myself, like, you know what I mean, like kind of like down here, you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Everybody goes through it. Nobody stays young for forever. How you doing, MJ? So Myers to Dallas for a second and a fourth. So, scientist you were telling me about Domingue. So, yeah, to me, that's not a good deal. Because there's really only one reason to do that. There's really only one reason right now to sign Domingue to that contract. And that, to me, says that maybe Bobrovsky might be on the move. If the only reason to sign Domingue to that contract right now is if they're really thinking about moving Bobrovsky and they're going to have Tarasov at 1 and Domingue is 2, or they want Cooper Black to come up and you need Domingue to be the guy in Charlotte for a while. Dave says, sir, just the thought you and the Cats both need to focus on health for a while, then you come back both. I I appreciate what you're saying, David, and you were not wrong. You were not wrong. You were not wrong. But I am not healthy enough to go get a job right now. And I got $4,000 a month in bills. So I got to do what I can do. You know what I mean? I got to do what I can do. That's, if I can't sit here and talk with you guys, and if I can't do the channel, then I'm in bad shape. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it is what I'll be okay. Yeah, Jaws, we must go to space if we somehow make it. But what did I say yesterday? Oh, yeah, yesterday I said that if the Panthers make the playoffs and we beat the Lightning in the playoffs, I'm going to buy razors and shave my entire upper body on camera. Yeah, that's how sure I am it's not going to happen. Craig says Bob's going to move. Yeah, that move has me concerned now. The Domingue move, that me no likey. Me no likey. Vincent says, well, it's happening. I don't like it. I don't like it, man. Kenny says, if Bob goes to the Oilers or Knights, I'll back him for the 3-peat. It'd be hard to root against the guy, right? Dietrich says, is Bob considered part of the core? I've seen promotional material for next season in Amaret with the slogan committed to the core. That's interesting. I assume Bobrovsky's is the core. What would somebody have to give us? Like Zito would have to get a massive haul, right? Michael says, give us 20 games to see if Tarasov can be a starter and get some good assets from Montreal. Oh, boy, Bob in Montreal, though? Ooh. MJ says $4,000 a month is how much all my furniture cost me when I moved back to Chicago. Yeah. Oh, I get what you're saying, David. I am trying. Yeah. That's why I did the sauna today. I've been trying to. The diet. It's not like I eat badly. It's just, unfortunately, the combination of the Lyme disease coming back. It's a mess. But that's why I've been doing the sauna, and I have been getting back out with Leia at night. I just don't want to venture too far from the house when I do it, because it's no fun getting lightheaded and having heart palpitations in public. I'd rather be home. That way, if somebody needs to call 911, I'm already home. But I get what you're saying, David. I appreciate it. Yeah. Jelly says, maybe this means some team might give a very favorable return for Bob. Can't see Zito trading him for peanuts. I'm trying to think if it could mean anything else. Why would you need to sign Domingue to a 2-way contract right now if you weren't. Now, hey, here's the question. Here's the question. I'm scrolling down to the bottom of the chat. Matthew, no, I had to I had to cold turkey cough. I had the cold turkey caffeine. This is a powder for my stomach. I have a question. So, Colin, yeah, the Dominguez signing is for the rest of the season because he didn't have a contract. No, that's exactly right. But the only reason to do that now would be if you're considering needing him. But however, here's my question for the chat. Wouldn't Tarasov maybe possibly be more of an attractive option for a team to trade for? Like, if we're sitting here thinking maybe he could be our starter, maybe Tarasov could be do you think Tarasov could be the one that's on the move? If we don't think we're going to be able to afford him or re-sign him, you see what I'm saying? Like, we hadn't even really talked about that or thought about it that way. But it could be. What happened? What MJ says, I'm paranoid about sauna. I read somewhere that saunas kill sperm cells and could shrink your manhood. That's why. Yeah, no, that's definitely there's definitely not true. It's definitely not. It's definitely not true. I don't know. And saunas are. I think saunas are supposed to reduce heart attacks and heart disease by something like 50, 60%. Hungry says, numbers-wise, Tarasov looks better, but experience-wise, Bob makes more sense. It's true, but the only reason to sign Dominguez to that contract is if you're going to need to call him up. Weatherlock says, could the Oilers go to the finals 3 years in a row? I'm hoping that the Sharks make the playoffs instead of the Oilers. That's my hope. Kenneth says, you want a proven cup champion for a cup contender. No, that's true, but how would Tarasov look in Montreal? Or would Tarasov be an improvement in Edmonton? You know what I mean? Even as the number 2 guy. Mythical says Tarasov should be our backup next year and maybe get a low-cost goalie while boosting up the lineup. I mean, I'm hoping Tarasov is able to stay. Michael says, I don't think anyone is trading for Tarasov. I don't know. Remember, Vegas won a cup with Adin Hill. Now, how far down on that depth chart was Adin Hill, right? And if the Panthers right now know that they're not making the playoffs, if they've said, we're done, unless they have decided to re-sign Tarasov for next season, there's no reason not to trade him. Like, we're talking about getting maybe something for Greer or Boquist, but the more I'm sitting here thinking about it, like if we've decided we're not keeping him, it kind of would be stupid to not trade him. What would the return for be him? Eyes, yeah, that's what we're talking about. Eyes is the Dominguez contract sort of signals that there should be a goalie on the move for us. Now, what would the return be for him? I don't know. It just depends on who would want him, right? Like, if you're a team that wants him to possibly be a really good, solid backup, should one of your goalies get hurt, who's behind Bussy? Is Anderson still there? Obviously, is he hurt again? Anderson's hurt every 5 minutes, but it's possible. I mean, how many teams end up, toast out of the playoffs because their backup sucks? And then you get a situation like Vegas where they win the cup with, Hill was like, what, third or fourth on the list? Dietrich says, can we get Brady somehow and when? After next season. After next season. That would be my best guess. JD says, maybe he pulls a Stolars and chases the bag after a good season behind Bob. Right. Yeah, definitely not true, MJ. Vincent says Tarasov is not a starter. Bob is the best goalie in the league, but trade-wise, teams will take them both because there's no goalies available. And that's another point there. There's not a lot available right now. That's for sure. Oh, MJ says it's actually jacuzzis, they say. Okay. So it's just Domingue? There's no Domingue? That's interesting. Appreciate that, Jameson. Matthew, yeah, it's wood. It's a wood sauna with the infrared panels. I've had it for I guess I've had it for 10 years. That's true, Dietrich. Playoff Bob is a different animal. Mock trade, Matthew Tkachuk for Brady Tkachuk. Yeah, now saunas can kill you if you don't open up the door in time. That's for sure. Yeah, the wood saunas are nice. Good point. Hungry says, please, God, do not let us give Edmonton the final piece they need to end Canada's drought. There's only one reason to sign Domingue to that contract right now, guys. It doesn't mean something is guaranteed to happen, but it certainly means they're contemplating the possibility of doing it. One of them. There's no other reason. Now, of course, it could mean they're going to rest Bobrovsky. Huh? What if they decide to start shutting players down and they just tell Bob, you're done for the rest of the season. Take it easy. Take a break. Rest up. That's also a possibility if you want to look at it from a positive point of view. Dave, yeah, I can understand that perspective about all your animals already there waiting for you, just sticking around for your mom. Yeah, Zito is probably selling. I don't know if Rodriguez is leaving. Zito has so many decisions to make. Alex Lyon is, he is a free agent next year, I believe. We've looked at this a few times. Let me see. So Skinner, Talbot, Nedeljkovic, Connor Ingram. Come on, page load. Is Lyon on that list? Akira Schmid, Cooper Black. No, I don't think Lyon is a free agent. He's not. I don't see him here. Picard, Kapo Kakinen, Vanacek. No, Lyon's not an upcoming free agent. Yeah, Bobby. Michael says Erod's a free agent in 27, so he has some value to someone trying to win in the next 2 years. Kenneth says maybe we go off the board and Bob to the Knights for Aiden Hill and then Tarasov to the Habs for a 3rd-round pick. Huh. Bob to the Knights for Aiden Hill. That's interesting. They got to throw in something. Mythical says, the Oilers made back-to-back finals with Skinner. That's true. Okay, David. MJ, knock on wood, no. No. I got a good deal on it on eBay. Years, like I said, 10 years ago. Vincent says, so it's Domingue and Cooper White to get the top round pick. Yeah, MJ, that's the whole thing, is trying to figure out what we're going to do in net. It's not easy. Hungry says, looking at AHL goalie stats, Cooper Black has the 8th best goals against average in the league. First guy's GAA is 0.8 below and has allowed 55 goals. Wow. Nope, MJ or Matthew, no. It is, knock on wood. I bought it from a company. I don't know if they still sell them. It was a company that they would take in returns from, so people got their sauna and it broke in shipment or whatever it was. And, it's several different pieces, right? So they would take the returned saunas and replace the broken piece with a brand new piece and then sell the sauna again, but at a discount price from it actually being brand new in the box. Vincent says, I assume Bob, no trade involves all the Canadian teams. So Vegas looks easy. However, Montreal looks like a better team. I think so, to be Bob's call. Yeah, you're probably right about that. Well, with 16, how many Canadian teams are there? So it's 16 teams. This is a good exercise. It's a 16-team no trade list. So the Canadian teams are, let's see, 1, 2, 3. And then 4, 5, 6, 7. Is it only 7 or am I missing one? 1, 2, 3. So it's 7. So there's 9 teams other than the 7 Canadian teams. Yeah, so there's 7. So that means there's 9 other teams on that list. Mythical says, so I feel we should try our defense. Do you feel we should try our defense's top priority next season and try to fix with some free agents and trades? No. Younger and more goals. I think Vilmanis needs to be in the top 9 and or going out and getting somebody that's going to fill, that's going to complement what these guys do, but get some fresh legs in there. I think the defense is okay enough. Like, you're not trading Forsling or Mikula. And Ekblad, I don't think would ever waive his no-move clause anyway. And Jones might be the best defenseman on the team. Like, maybe you want to upgrade at the bottom pair, right? You know what I mean? If you want Kulikov to maybe be 7D and you want to go get a better bottom pair, I'd be about that for sure. So then with the 7 Canadian teams, I do wonder where he would now let's say his wife picked the 16 teams that he said he would go to, right? So let's go on the East Coast: Lightning, Sabres, Wings, Bruins, Hurricanes, Penguins, Islanders. Would he go back to Columbus? Capitals, Flyers, that's 10. Devils and Rangers are 12. And then there would be 4 more teams that he would say he'd go to on that list. And you're probably looking at San Jose, Vegas, Colorado, and Dallas. Maybe Nashville. Now, of course, he could waive, obviously, right? But that would be mostly my guesses. MJ. Oh, yeah, Michael, that's a good name. That's a good name for sure. I can't pronounce it, but I agree with you. Craig says Panthers need a Schaefer type D man. It wouldn't hurt. But you gotta have some brass balls of luck to win that draft lottery, right? Yeah, exactly, Silva. Vince says Ekblad is such an anchor, unbelievable. Who told him he could play hockey? Oh, hey, relentless. So we're not sure that we're booting Bob just yet. But we're not sure yet. Maybe it could be Tarasov, or maybe we're just shutting Bob down for the year and letting him rest. I mean, if they've made the decision to be sellers, it means they've made the decision they're not making the playoffs. And if they've made the decision to start resting guys, why wouldn't Bob be one of those guys? Right? So that's also a possibility. There you go, MJ. Craig says Bob and his wife being Russian, they may crave some actual winter or snow, or it could be they never want it back, right? I appreciate that, David. I appreciate you, man. I'm slowly getting back to myself. It's good to have Donna here because she stops me from doing stupid things that I probably shouldn't do. In terms of, I always had a gut it out mentality. Well, you can't gut out a heart attack. Like you have to stop, shut up, and slow down. You know what I mean? Yeah, Bobby. Nope is right. Werenski for Bob. That's an interesting deal. What's his contract? Jeez, $10 million. Ay. Oh boy. Yeah. I suppose I would do it. And the reason why I would do it is because this deal expires in 27-28. So you're not going to be adding any salary to the deal, and you could flip them again if you needed to. But you better figure out what you better go. You're gonna have to go cheap on the goalie now too. MJ says, which NHL jerseys do Kyle and I not have yet? Oh God. Kyle doesn't have anything but Panther stuff. I'll have to look. In the Eastern Conference, let me look. Because I have hats for everybody, but jerseys, I believe I have the Wings. I have a Bruins shirt. I have a Senators jersey. I know I have a Hurricanes jersey. I know I have Islanders and Rangers. I know I have Jackets, Capitals. I think that's it for the Eastern Conference. So teams that I don't have jerseys for that will be in the playoffs, maybe the Penguins, Sabres, Lightning, Canadians. But I have hats for everybody, pretty sure. Although I might need to buy a new Canadians hat because it's so small. Because we'll be streaming. Who knows which way those matchups are going to go. It's going to be interesting. Dominguez got 3 shutouts with the Checkers this year. I mean, he's played some NHL games. Vincent says you won't go to Columbus. That's crazy talk. I mean, yeah, I am crazy, though. I appreciate that, Bobby. I appreciate that, man. So MJ doesn't want Werenski? No? Okay. He's not worth the $10 million. Is the most worth it $10 million you can find? I see. I always find it interesting the differences of opinions on players. No, I didn't see that, MJ. Gabranson for Bob. There you go. Bobrovsky for a Trocheck. He'll get tripped. All right, David. Leaf fans won't like it if I start wearing Habs or Bruins gear. I remember, Relentless, I did a skit. One of the first skits I did years ago, I wore a Bruins hat. And somebody came into the comments and said I was only wearing the Bruins hat for clout. This was before we started winning cups. But they said I was only wearing the Bruins hat for clout. I got a kick out of that. All right, everybody. I got to roll. I got to get Kyle. He's got a dentist appointment at 2:00. Appreciate y'all. Thank you very much for all the support, all the super chats. I will not die. I'm good. I'm here. I'm trying to get my energy level back up so it can be some decent content for the playoffs. We're going to try to make the playoffs fun. That's the best we can do. We're gonna try to make the playoffs fun, and Kyle and I are going to choose different teams whenever we're streaming. We're going to have a bracket for the playoffs and all of that with prizes and everything. That's the link for the Chucky interview. Okay, MJ, I appreciate that. Do I still like the Ekblad signing? I mean, with the new salary cap, sure, because you could even put him down to the second or third pair and be okay monetarily. He's the locker room leader. You can't, you know what I mean? Forget what he does on the ice. He's needed in the locker room. My opinion, anyway. So, all right, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. Appreciate y'all, and I will see you mañana at noon. Unless, of course, we make a deal. If we make some kind of trade, I'll be here. So, all right. Appreciate y'all. Bye-bye.